The Gentlementor.
I think the whole, now I was going to go back to that, and I kind of lost my train of thought. Where that going back to the whole, what you were talking about earlier about, as Christians, we've been kind of taught or kind of led to believe that, oh, we've got problems, and then everybody else they all look like they don't have problems, so why should I expose mine?
Right.
And so you're a little bit on the side of let's have open mic night, but in a sense where, see, that's the problem. And I've been in the situation where we were on open mic night, and then all of a sudden I've been ousted. And so, yeah.
Who ousted you?
Yeah. Yeah. It was a church in Arkansas.
Send them to me.
Yeah. So I got ousted because of that. And it's not someplace where I could go, hey, here we've got a problem and I've got an issue. I need to work this out. I need some help with this. And then immediately was like, nope, you're out. Pack up your things.
That's how it works. It's right. It's not a hospital. It's not a hospital.
Oh,
they'll tell you it's supposed to be a hospital, but it's not a hospital.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a yacht club.
It's more like one of them hospitals the Nazis ran.
Okay.
But they take you in and put you in the shower.
Oh, okay.
Oh, something's wrong with you? Come here.
Oh, yeah,
let me show you the back door.
No,
it's all part of that pretend culture. We take that make-believe standard, and everybody tries to live up it, and everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. Nobody is that perfectly blessed every second of every day. I know maybe one person, maybe two at tops, but most of these people, I know them. I know what you're like on Wednesday. Don't walk up to me on Sunday and give me that, oh, brother, I'm blessed. Now you're lying to me.
You
think I'm stupid, and so what am I supposed to do with that? So yes, I'm a big fan of letting the ugly out. I think there's good in it. I think that's how you get rid of those infections and those nasty things, those warts and boils on your soul that just keep grinding you down.
I agree.
You expose stuff to the light. You put it in the light, and it kills it.
But like we were talking to Mozo last week, it's his mindset every day when he gets up. He's got a mindset that he's practicing. He's putting into practice, saying, I am this, and I am this. But still, that doesn't negate the fact that you've had bad experiences, or you're going through a bad experience. At least you've got a great mindset about it. So, but yeah, we have that sense of like when somebody goes, "How's it going?" This is great. Really?
How are you doing?
Every time I see you, you just say it's going great. How you doing? You been busy? Yeah, man, I've been busy. Well, that sucks for you. I hate that. I've tried to get away from that. You've been busy? No, that's the way I like it. I don't want to be busy. I want to enjoy. To me, that's what success is enjoying the life that I've got right now. Now, tomorrow, success may be a little bit different. Tomorrow may be, who knows, in 6 months or in 12 months when inflation goes up and Walmart's now charging twice as much for all the stuff that you're protecting there cyberly, then I may be like, hey, success is making the house payment. Yay. So no, I want to go back. How many times does Walmart get attempted to be hacked?
Depends on how you define it. We have, they don't publish it anymore, but we used to have a graph. We used to have a graph that got sent internally that was how many attacks have been performed in the last 48 hours. And it was a little loose with how they define an attack. An attack was defined as basically anything other than somebody just going to Walmart.com. If they tried anything else, that was registered as an attack. And I think 2019 was the last year I saw full numbers for, and I want to say we had 4 trillion attacks in 2019.
What is that, like 10 a minute or something, or what?
It's some insanely high number. It's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. And most of them are, some 14-year-old who downloaded a how do I hack this website thing and typed in Walmart.com, and it's absolutely no risk at all. But it's technically an attack. So it gets logged.
Because he tried to see what he could get into. That's just so crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. So I saw a video of your car getting kind of bashed up
just a
on
little
the highway.
Bit. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just slightly.
That was pretty interesting. So are you going to replace it? You got something new, or first of all, were you okay? You were okay? Nothing.
Yeah, I was sore for a while.
Yeah. He got rear-ended on the highway, Doug. I'm sorry.
When did this happen?
Was it a couple months ago?
It was it was the end of March.
Okay.
So a month and a half ago.
Okay.
So I was driving south on the highway, driving south from the liquor store actually. And
you didn't break anything, did you? Did it break anything?
Nope, just the car.
Okay.
But I was in the right-hand lane. I was going the speed limit.
Yeah.
And it was a Tesla Model 3. So like it's driving itself at this point. I'm not touching anything. Like I'm just making sure everything's working fine. And I got rear-ended by a guy trying to pass me on the shoulder, going about 90 something miles an hour. And it was right at sunset. And like he kept going another quarter mile past me after he hit me, and finally pulled over, and he got arrested and charged with reckless endangerment and all kinds of stuff. And
Good.
he had something like, I'd have to look at the exact thing, but he had a laundry list of drugs in the car with him.
Woo!
Oh my gosh.
I mean, he was ready to party.
He's probably probably a paramedic on his way to an emergency.
Yeah, well, so after he hit me, like he came jogging back to check on, everybody behind him, I guess. And he was on the phone.
Car. Then he sideswiped another car that was behind
He sideswiped like 3 cars.
Oh,
so they were there. He got on the interstate at Joplin, and there were people chasing him since Joplin, trying to get the police to pull him over.
Oh my gosh.
And he hit me in Bella Vista, which is like 50 miles, 60 miles, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when he came back, like the police kept us separated right when they got there and everything. And he was standing against the police car, and he was on the phone, and the police had kind of walked off, and he looks at me and goes, "Hey man, did I make it to Arkansas?" I was like, "Yeah, you did, buddy."
Wow.
All the way.
Oh my goodness. And that's as far as you're going. That's crazy, man.
Yep. But it was one of those, like, I'm not happy that he hit my car, but I'm glad that he hit my car and not like a minivan with kids in it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because my car, like if you watch the video, like my car gets hit and kind of goes like that, where, I mean, it's a solid car. You
actually have video of the hit, huh?
Oh yeah. So the Tesla has like 6 cameras on it. I've got it recorded in 360 degrees.
It's pretty cool.
So,
I saw a couple
take him to Hawaii with you.
But it was it was something else. I like I said, I'm glad he hit me if he was gonna hit somebody instead of like a minivan with kids in it.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then of course with the video, I guess the police check that video. They request that from you too.
Yeah, so I was sitting in the car reviewing the video, and the police came up and were like, "Can we get a copy of that?" And I was like, "Yeah."
VHS or DVD?
Can you do Laserdisc? That's crazy. Yeah. So trash the Model 3. It's gone.
Yep, it's gone. They totaled it. The loan was actually through a financial institution you're familiar with.
Oh, okay.
So I had to call them Friday because I hadn't gotten the title yet.
Oh no.
And so I called and talked to somebody up there, and he overnighted me a title. So I sent it off to the insurance company yesterday.
Nice.
So I should get a residual check for the remaining balance sometime this week.
Oh, okay. Cool. Man, that's crazy. That is just so funny. When I saw the video, I was like, wow, it's frightening to kind of see that.
Yeah.
But then we were talking earlier about getting a 360 camera because my son has got an Oculus, and I've been spending way too much time messing around with that, making myself sick. So I guess that's probably what's next. Why can't we connect our Oculus to our Tesla and send it to the liquor store for us?
Hey,
right?
man. I mean,
if they've got delivery,
you listen to Elon Musk, like it's coming next week. That's his thing. So.
Elon's going to build a virtual liquor store inside of each of us, so you won't have to go anywhere anymore.
Oh man, thank God.
The virtual liquor store, but it's on Mars.
You download it from the million satellites that'll be surrounding us.
Yeah.
So Clint, I threw a lot of information on you there and stuff. We kind of jumped back to tech support and car wrecks. Where are you at, man? Where you, how are you feeling? Where are you at with all this? I mean, we've been kind of talking for a couple weeks, so I know it's been on your mind and your heart, and I've been praying for you, and hopefully you have. So where are you at? Where do you want to be more than that? I mean, or where would you like this to see this end?
Yeah.
That's not too fun.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure where I am, you know. One of the things that I have a hard time with is I know that there are things that, like, I know that I want, like, I'm at the point where I want to believe something, but I don't want to believe something for the wrong reasons. So how do I know that I actually believe something versus I have decided that because it's what I want to believe? That's kind of where I am right now.
Wow. That's tough.
What do you feel like you need to help you with that, to make that?
I have no idea.
Hey, here's something I didn't ask. How old are you, Clint? I don't even have any idea.
33.
33. Okay. Yeah, man, that's a rough piece of time there. I don't know. I don't know that you ever come to a place where it's both full time. Where what you know in your head and what you know in your heart are equivocal. It seems to me like one is always kind of overruling the other. One's more in charge some days than the other, you know? Some days it's like, yeah, okay, I have to lean back on the things that I know because I'm not feeling the things that I want to feel. Today feels bad. You know, some days you have that day where the first three things you do go wrong. And you're like, maybe you should just go back to bed. You know, and then it's like, no. That's just my emotions wanting me to give in. What I know is that if I continue and I, sustain, I can push my way through this. And that's all fine for like getting through the day. That's not the same as like getting through a spiritual emptiness or hollowness. And wow. I want to tell you to trust yourself, but I got a feeling you're going to tell me that ain't happening. And I understand. I would find that hard to argue with. Yeah. It seems like a ridiculous thing to say. We've talked a lot in the last several weeks, I guess, about experts and the world's full of experts. And I kind of retold some of my own story and my pursuit of the experts to kind of set me straight and tell me where I was wrong. It's like, there weren't any experts for this. There aren't any experts for this. Right. This is a relationship between you and the creator of the universe. There's people that will dabble and try to get involved and manipulate.
There are people that claim to be an expert for sure.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then all they end up doing is just making us more confused.
Right. I don't want to walk on where you're at. Like I said, I know I've been through it a lot and for some extended periods. I know Mark's experienced it. I can't think of too many people I know who are faith people who haven't experienced that.
Yeah.
Again, this is where I think confession would benefit us, because I think you would find out that the standard in your mind that you think you're supposed to live up to is not the standard anyone else is living up to. The standard everyone else is living up to is some days you feel it and some days you fake it till you make it.
So that's one thing my mom was talking about her, the rabbi, when she did the conversion. She said that she was talking to the rabbi and she said she felt guilty because, some days she doesn't know if God exists. And the rabbi said he looked at her and said, I didn't think God existed yesterday. Like, it's lunch. I'm not entirely sure today,
It's for real, man. I mean, the things that people believe and the things that they know inside, you can't get a measure on them. I mean, there's no way unless you know someone intimately and they share those truths with you. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the thing we learn from religion is just that, put on the face, shake the hand and the smile.
Right.
So you don't get anywhere with that. If you can at least be honest about it, then it seems like there's some hope for it. You can deal with it honestly, whether you wind up believing or not believing, you can do it honestly. Yeah. It doesn't have to be a charade. And so as far as Mark and I are concerned, you're always welcome to, contact us here or internet or whatever, man. And we can talk about these things, but please find somewhere to get perspective. Find someone you can talk to, someone who can talk to you, get your perspective back. That's your big first help.
Sure.
And stop holding this standard over your own head. That is not the standard that no other human's even capable of living by. That's why they fake it, because he can't really do it. So put that out the window. That's not the real standard. Set a new standard. I recently learned, had an experience, which sounded, again, shockingly like an experience she shared with my wife. And after years of marriage and raising children, we had what I would call a revival in our marriage. But it was all based on kind of returning to that idea that we are going to be honest with each other, that we are going to tell every truth, that we are going to do that because that helps us to have perspective. And then we're not sitting around going, well, maybe she thinks this, maybe he thinks that. And, the internal monologue can sometimes be destructive. Sure. It frequently can be if it's left with no one else. So whether you avail yourself of this thing talking on the internet, or you have friends there, or a combination of both, you don't have to go inside a church building to get that. Okay. Yeah. That's easy. The second thing, like I said, every occasion you have to pour yourself out for another human being will put you closer and in more contact with God in the feeling department. For sure. Those two things, it ain't gonna solve it overnight. This isn't the kind of thing that gets solved overnight. This is a relationship building exercise, team building exercise, if you will, between you and God. So you're just going to have to, grab the rope and, and do the thing and like, okay, well, I'm in this and, whoa, what are you doing? You turned into a picture and then you had a green screen and now you're back. You're messing with me.
Am I back?
So I just wanted to give you some encouragement. I felt like I kind of was whooping on you before, and I didn't mean it to feel that way. I hope it didn't. I get a little intent in my thoughts. So I want you to know that, you're not in unknown territory. It's just, it doesn't matter because you're there alone. And that's the problem with being alone. It doesn't matter how many people have been there before or been through it. It doesn't, it doesn't decrease the suck value for you. It's still going to stink. And it's still going to be hard, but you can be hard by yourself, or you can have some friends along to help support you and say, yeah, good job. And to say sometimes, no, you're full of shit. Because that's what friends do. I mean, that's what your real friends do. So,
and now you've been chastened by the Doug. I have recently likened my relationship with God like coffy. Now you're gonna love this, Doug.
Oh, it sounds promising. I'm listening.
It is. It sounds promising. I realize there are times when I really, really enjoy my cup of coffee, and there are times when I just I think it's more like like somebody's like you're stressed out during the day, and I've not done this before, but you I got to go outside and smoke a cigarette for a second. It's like there's part of the day where it's like, I've got to go get just a cup of coffee. And it's like, I'm not even tired. There's nothing. It's just one of those things where I got to have a cup of coffee. And I'm not sure that the caffeine does much for me anymore. I've drank so much coffee in my entire life. And, it's so much. And I don't know that it even does anything for me anymore. Probably just because I'm addicted to caffeine. So, but anyway, that's kind of what my feeling is, that it's like, I just have to spend some time with God, and I'm better for some reason. I just need a moment. And it's like, sometimes did it work? But I don't know. The coffee wasn't even good. I didn't even feel like he said anything. I didn't even feel like I learned anything. I'm still tired. That didn't do anything. But it's just that moment where I've just got to have a moment with a cup of coffee. I've just got to have a moment and spend some time. Take a walk around the building, enjoy, the sunshine or the cold air. And that's how I have, leveled out my relationship at this point. Am I laggy? Because I look like I'm really laggy. I don't know what's happening here.
You're kung fuing.
Nice. Kung fuing.
I think, when was it? It's been a while back. We had a conversation about cigars. And the importance of the cigar as a pause.
Yes, as a pause.
Yeah, you're still Chinese.
I don't know what to do.
We'll make a thing out of it. Like it's supposed to be this way. It's a pause. The coffee or the cigarette or the whatever. It's a pause.
Yeah.
It's a second to kind of pull back, disengage from whatever's going on, and go, okay. Isn't it funny that we can give ourselves a sanctuary in the form of a cigarette or a cup of coffee? But if we did this, if somebody said something like, well, you just need to go pray for a minute. It'd be like,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Like, that's what it is. If you think of smoking, I'm having a cigar with the Lord. Me and the Lord are going to have this cigar. We're going to have this cup of coffee. We're going to figure this out, and then we'll get right back to you.
It's a burnt offering. It's what it is. It's a burnt offering to the
barbecue.
Lord.
Barbecue's burnt offering.
Barbecue that day.
The original barbecue was the burnt offering.
The original burnt
in the temple.
I have a coworker who is Muslim, and she used to, when we were still working in the office, we have these little huddle rooms that you can book, and she would book the huddle rooms there, 2 or 3 times a day, and go in and do her prayer time.
Yeah.
In the huddle room, which I always thought was cool. That they let her do that first off.
I've always admired the commitment that they have, continuing to the 5 times a day or whatever it is. And even my rabbi friend, the same thing. When I get on the phone with him and he's, I've got to do this. I've got to do this. I know what's happening. I got a Dropbox syncing here. What is this? Got to stop that. Sorry. Anyway, I just looked up and saw that. Anyway, he's the same way. He's like, he gets on the call and he's like, hey, I just got done praying. I was like, wow, that's cool. You're got done praying.
Yeah,
now. I feel like you're the what do you call it? The Pharisees praying on the street corner. I just got done praying, everyone. Stop it. I don't care.
Look at me.
You're making me look bad.
Yeah, it's been interesting, having a family who is now Jewish. And there have been several times where I'll call and say, hey, I'm gonna bring something by, and Dad will say, hey, I've got to go. It's prayer time, and it's like, oh yeah, it's sundown. That's what happens right now every day. I will remember one of these days.
Well, it is so thoughtful that we don't interrupt God. In awkward parts of the day when he might be busy,
he's got
doing something else. Wait a minute. It's not sundown yet. I can't hear you. That's so funny.
Shh, not yet.
Quiet.
Now.
Not my turn.
It's so funny. That's the last thing I want out of my faith is something so regimental like that. And I know that I know there's a time to honor God, and Scripture talks about, Psalms, you honor God. I mean, He is God, that you honor Him with, our treasure and our time. But the regiment of it and how we approach God, it's on that royalty thing. But just to be so regimental about that, like that, you can only approach God at this time, or if you don't approach God at this time, then then you've missed out or something like that.
The impression that I've gotten is not so much that you can only do it at this time or you have to do it at this time. It's more that like this is a special time that's set aside for that. And if you miss it, you miss it. If you do it, like you don't have to, but it's there for you.
Right.
And that's kind of always the way I've looked at it, is more of it's not because it's an appointment with God, it's an appointment with your schedule, to help you get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pray in the morning because that's when I pray, and that's when I know I'll get it in and I won't have to rearrange it. It's not, it's not as much about being regimented as like this. This is the first thing I need in my day.
Yeah.
And I can't get it first, so I'm going to stack it as close to the beginning as I can. So as soon as I get a notch in there, I'm like, there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I do too. And then there's times of the day where it's like, I got to take a moment. I need a cigarette because I got to burn something for the Lord.
No. I need to go hit something with a stick.
That's good.
Hit something with a stick. That's hilarious.
Well then, Have we done all the damage we can do for you, or anything else you want to talk about while we're here? Or I don't want to just eat up your night, wasting your time. If you got other stuff you want to do.
No, I don't. Unless they call me for work, I don't have anything going on. So,
boo.
Which
is
they
that
did last
possibility?
night randomly.
Oh wow.
So
it's right up there with 7 people in your family converting to Judaism. Things you don't want to have to hear about. I'm like, oh wow, called into work.
This is an interesting situation.
So you're still working remote?
Oh yeah, we're fully remote at least through the end of the summer.
Okay.
Walmart Tech, they've announced we are primary remote full time from now on.
Oh,
so
okay.
there is an office that we can schedule desks if we want to go in and work in the office, but you work from your house now.
Okay.
Which is interesting because my team specifically, the systems that we deal with are highly secure systems and they require like physical network connections. And so there was a little bit of a scramble when the pandemic started of, hey, how do we make this work?
Right.
Because we can't be in the office.
So you can't just get in on a VPN. You've got to be physically connected to it.
We have it working through VPN.
Yeah. Okay.
But I had a meeting today with the VPN team because our stuff is highly segmented from the rest of the VPN network. And yeah, it's a blast.
That's cool.
If you're familiar with the PCI stuff at all for payment card industry standards,
as a matter of fact, I am.
The devices that I've got 2 of them in my office. Those are PCI Category 1 systems.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
they theoretically have direct access to cardholder data.
Theoretically.
Yeah, mine don't because of other stuff, but because of the type of system it is,
right.
It's classified that way.
Right. That's crazy.
Wow. You guys sure know a lot about the technologies.
You have to keep your doors locked during the day? Can't let anybody in your house? I know I visited someone else.
I mean,
I visited
I
another
don't let people in my house anyway.
Well, you probably shouldn't,
but
I just remember visiting a company one time that was PCI compliant, and everything was locked up, and you had to sign some forms before you walked in, and all this other stuff. Because
you're supposed to, like, if you're away from your desk, you lock the computer and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah,
that's fun stuff.
But that's how it is for your regular workstation. Is you're supposed to, if you walk away from your desk, you're supposed to lock the computer, and it's actually an ethics violation to go mess with somebody's computer if they forget to unlock it or if they forget to lock it and stuff like that. So it's a big deal.
Oops. Must be just ethics in Walmart, because surely it's not where.
Walmart has crazy stringent ethics stuff too. It's nuts sometimes.
Really? They don't for their customers though, right?
I mean, you kind of have to just go with whatever the flow is on the customer base. I sent Doug a message, I think Saturday. I was going back and watching some of the old episodes, and I saw the one with, was it Sean, I think?
Yeah.
Where he's a police officer. He talked about doing asset protection at a Walmart.
Yeah.
So when I worked for the vendor, one of the things that we did was tech support for the asset protection computers. And so I've worked the backside of that, and the whole thing about Walmart won't stop the shoplifters, absolutely true, because we've run into problems before where a customer, a shoplifter is injured because a asset protection person tried to stop them, and then they turn around and sue the store. And even though that's a case that we would win, that's money we have to spend in court.
Oh, God.
And so lawyers don't work for free.
Nope. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of stuff like that. I've had to, one of my favorite memories of that was I had to have an argument with a federal judge over evidence because he wanted the video to be converted to a different format. And I had to explain to him that violated the federal rules of evidence because that was a conversion, and that there was no evidence that was the original video footage at that point.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That is so funny.
That was a fun conversation.
Wow. Well, man, it's really good opportunity.
You're breaking up like crazy now. What's going on with your computer? Now your sound is completely gone.
I don't understand what's going
Oh,
on.
now you're back, dude.
But I don't know this guy. I don't ever have any trouble. Something
No,
going on.
you don't.
What
This is
it?
supposed to be me. I'm supposed to be
I
having
need-
tech problem.
I need some IT support or something. Some kind of support. Anyway, it's good to get to hang out with you a little bit. I'm really glad you took the opportunity to do that. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me? Am I talking?
Yeah, you're a little delayed, but yeah.
Okay. That's a kung fu stuff again. So anyway.
No, I appreciate this. You all were talking about confession being needed and everything, and that's one thing. I had a cousin who converted to Roman Catholicism a couple of years ago.
Woohoo!
All these conversions.
Yeah. This was probably 10 years ago now. We were down visiting my grandma in Central Arkansas, and she was in the process of converting. She wanted to marry a Catholic boy. So she asked me to go to Wednesday morning mass with her. And so I went, and let me tell you, they don't give you a pamphlet of what's going on during the service for Wednesday morning mass. It was all in Latin. I had no idea what was going on, stand up at random times, sit down at random times. That was interesting. But they did the confessional afterwards. And that was something that I remember thinking that would be useful in a lot more settings, is just some place where you can go and just, we talk about there's a mental health problem in America right now where we don't, maybe we need to have more people go into therapy and that kind of thing. I wonder if just confessionals could serve as some kind of rudimentary therapy for some people.
I think more often than not, the woes of society, the things that people point out, we need this and we need that, are very frequently things that were actually supposed to be done by the church that we kind of failed at. And so the government took it over, and they've done a government-y kind of job at it, and they shouldn't be blamed. It wasn't their job to do. It was ours. And yeah, I think that's confession. I think the idea of supporting one another and having a group of, like a support group, is what it is. Hey, who stole the support group idea from Jesus? So yeah, it's a way to keep your powder dry, keep your perspective. It gives you a sounding board. Yeah. There's so much good stuff about what church should be that it doesn't do it all, and then spends all of time and resources on all this crazy kind of busy work, this made up stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of like what you were talking about before. Just we need this ministry to this thing. It's like, why?
Yeah.
Oh, because we do. Oh, okay.
We had one thing that we had at my previous employer was they paid for a big painting to go across the back, and the stage was gigantic. I mean, it's a huge stage, and so a painting to cover it for the pageant is going to be expensive. And that was, I remember I was in the meeting, and they were talking about, well, it costs this much money, and we really don't want to advertise that because that's a lot of money, and people are going to get mad about it. It's like, man, I understand, but there's a level of cynicism there too, that you're just like, I don't necessarily trust my congregation to understand why we spent this money.
They won't understand.
Something.
Yep.
No. Yeah.
And I mean, sometimes it's justified because we had a program for rent assistance. So if you're getting evicted or you can't afford rent or something like that, we'd help you out. And they had to put really strict rules in place because people would just show up and be like, hey, where's my money? We had one guy where the receptionist saw him walking in, and she paged everybody in the business office and said, hey, hide your wallets, because she knew who it was. And the guy came in and was asking for money, and we all were just like, sorry, we don't carry cash anymore. Nobody carries cash in this office. And when he left, she called a bunch of the places around and were like, hey, so-and-so's back. He's panhandling again.
Yeah.
I remember working in a large multi-site church too, and I oversaw a lot of the applications that came in for assistance. And it troubled me because not only that, but I oversaw the financial aspect of the church too, and watching watching how much the worship arts department spent on things, on like a laser light show and these things, and then I get the applications back of, here are the 6 people that we have decided to help this week, and they're each getting a $50 Walmart gift card.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, praise God, they'll be so excited, I'm sure.
Dude.
Yeah.
Jesus needs laser lights.
Yeah, of course he does.
And I mean, I came from the media tech side of that. And so some of the stuff, like when we built the new building, one of the guys went to the board of the church and was like, look, you need to do it this way. It's going to cost more money, but when you do that, like you're doing this for media, you have to build it this way, or you're going to hate yourself. And so it was something like the way they wanted to do it was like $750,000. And the way he wanted to do it was like $1.5 million or something like that. Well, so he convinced him to spend the extra money. And then I kid you not, like 6 months later, after we got everything done, the FCC announced like everything has to be in HD. And they had already built the building to be HD. And they went back and priced it. And if they had to retrofit this system, it would have ended up costing them like 3 times the amount of money or something like that. And so sometimes it's okay to spend a little extra money, but you got to know what you're doing.
People hear from the Lord sometimes too. And I think that's exactly what they want. Save that church a lot of financial heartache in the long run. That's funny. It's so funny to me because it seems like from 3 guys who have been on the inside of it, that a lot of times they're the ones that end up getting stomped on the worst. They're the ones that end up with the most pain. I having been a pastor too, as lots of people who were they're hurting come into the church, they leave hurting the church, but it's so many more ex-staff members that are burnt by the things that go on behind the office closed.
The receptionist that we had,
that should be our support group.
There you go. The receptionist we had, I loved her. She was a fantastic lady. She was married to a local preacher at a different church. And that was part of the deal, is she did not go to church there. And I was talking to her about it one day, because she had not gone to church where she worked for years before she got married to this preacher. And I think that's how they met. I was talking to her about it, and she said she'd been doing it for 20 years at that point. And she said, let me give you some advice. If you want to love your church, don't work there.
Yeah.
Or don't go there either. Don't work there or go there. Go to some other church and just love that one. It's like getting a dog. One dog you love and one dog that's just for company.
Yeah. And then you just watch them fight. Love it.
Oh, man.
All right.
Too much stuff, man. Too much stuff.
I see you rubbing your eyes.
I got something in my eyes burning like a mother. I don't know what I did. I had something on my finger, apparently, and put it in that eye, and now it doesn't like it. Now.
Well, don't do that.
Now my eyes
chopping onions
match your
and rubbing your eyes.
I don't know. I haven't cooked anything. It's unpleasant. I'm not enjoying it.
That's a heresy. You haven't cooked anything? That's terrible.
Not today. I did make some. Oh man, I don't do this kind of stuff. Every once in a while, I'll pull something.
I'm having tech problems. You're having eye problems.
I did. I don't like fish. I don't eat fish, but I did. I got some fish fillets and did like just fish and chips at home the other night for wife and kids. They loved it.
What it is.
It was
mercury poisoning.
I don't know anything about it. Probably mercury poisoning in my eyes.
Yep.
Last night I did pork chops with stuffing.
Stop.
It was really good. You want some? I got some left. I get it in the fridge.
Yeah. Be in 4 hours.
It wouldn't take you 4 hours.
I cooked a bison burger for dinner, so that turned out pretty well.
Look at some of those the other night. Are you just eating straight bison by itself? Or are you putting some pork in it or anything?
I'm doing this weight loss thing where they analyze your genetics and tell you what you need to eat. And bison was like the 3rd highest thing on the list for me. And I'd never had it before. So Walmart sells ground bison, I discovered.
Wow.
We've got a
Yeah.
farm about an hour from here that actually raises them, and you can go buy it fresh, but it's not cheap.
Ooh, nice. I can see that.
But I love bison. It's the other red meat.
Is it a little you got to be careful with it. Like somebody gave me some elk one time, some elk steaks, and they were good, but man, if you grill those for a second more than they need to be, they're just terrible. It's like beef jerky. Is bison the same way, or is it bison a little bit fatty in it? Because these
it's
elk
leaner
was
than
so
beef.
lean.
Yeah,
It's
that's
pretty
the
lean,
usually with
yeah.
bison, they'll mix in some pork or a little beef fat with it just to
give it some.
I've only
flavor.
ever had the burgers. I've never had like a steak or a chop or anything
Yeah,
like
same.
that, so I don't know.
But yeah, y'all talk about pork and everything. One of the leftover things from the churches in the past is I haven't had non-kosher food in probably 12 years now at this point.
Oh,
So
Bummer.
get off that wagon.
Yeah. It's like Jim Gaffigan's. We're gonna chop off the end of our penis and no bacon. Whoa, wait.
This is where the Christmas party went awry, I believe.
Yeah.
That's where everything went wrong.
I gotta draw the line somewhere. You said no bacon. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
All right, gentlemen.
I was at a wedding and they had shrimp, and a buddy of mine was like, "How do you not eat shrimp?" And I said, "Well, I'll give you a hint. That's not their spinal cord that runs across the back there."
The cockroach of the sea.
Yes, the bottom feeders. The cockroach of the sea. That's funny. I've never heard that.
That's what they are.
Yeah. And my dad was like borderline.
Yeah, your dad was practically Jewish the way
he thought he was Jewish. Yeah. And he wouldn't eat catfish either. Or no, he loved catfish. He wouldn't eat shrimp, but he loved catfish. And he would go to these catfish fries. I'm like, if you're going to eat catfish, you might as well eat shrimp too. You might as well eat pork.
That's funny.
They're bottom feeders as well.
Are Famous Amos cookies kosher?
No. Nope, but he did eat his fair share of
loved
Famous
those.
Amos cookies.
He ate more than his fair share. He ate a fair share for a couple people.
Yeah, you're probably right. For one of the entire tribes of the 12, he probably
Yeah.
had enough non.
Amos. Amos is a Jewish name.
Amos.
Come on. It's a prophet.
Amos, the tribe of Amos. That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, guys. This has been great.
Buddy, remain in touch with us, man. Keep contacting on Instagram and whatever, email or whatever's comfortable for you. And
I appreciate it.
Let us know what's going on, and I will keep in touch with you. And you can do this, man.
Yeah.
It may not be pleasant, but you can do it.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it.
The Gentlementor.